Living 808 has teamed up with Kamehameha Schools to show how Hawaiian values and lessons can be positive for distance learning. Today we get a closer look at the importance of learning centers in early education.
This week, Living 808 is focusing on early learning, and specifically right now, we're going to talk about preschool and opportunities to use a learning center concept at home. And we're going to talk now with the folks at Punana and Kūkulu to find out about what you guys are doing. So tell me about the learning center concept and what you use at Punana.
So at each Punana site, we have what are called honuanua, and that's the term that we use for learning centers. And each site has 4 standard honuanua, or learning centers, each with its own focus. One focuses primarily on makaola, or fine motor skills, life skills. Another on makaolonoa, sensorial skills. Another on makau makimakika, mathematical skills. And the fourth one on makau olelo Hawaii, Hawaiian language skills. And so through these ha'awina honuanua, keiki are able to strengthen their ability to make decisions, manage workspaces, fulfill certain tasks from start to finish, and to return things to their proper place, doing all of this independently while also honing the focus skills of that specific honuanua learning center.
How would you apply these same concepts right now? Obviously, we're doing this at home. So how would you suggest that someone might be able to incorporate it into their own lifestyle right now?
You know, for a family or a parent who's making breakfast, and perhaps they need 8 eggs, rather than the parent getting it themselves from the refrigerator, we can ask the child to get the 8 eggs from the refrigerator. And without even knowing it, the keiki is engaging in ha'awina makaola, in a fine motor skill lesson, because he or she would need to lalau nui. They need to grasp with their entire hand to collect the egg. At the same time, they need to collect 8 of them. So they're incorporating math skills into that. They need to be able to count to 8. They need to keep track of how much they have, how much more they need. And so without even calling it a lesson, without, telling your keiki to sit down and let's do some homework, just in the everyday activities that they're kind of maybe nagging to get involved with anyway, we can use those times to replace or to substitute for wahonuanua or learning center times.
Are there some other resources available that you might suggest for people to find inspiration for how they can continue to incorporate in creative ways like that, where the kids might not even know that they're learning through the process?
There's all of these different things that can be found online, whether you just Google certain phrases. But I would suggest for our families at Punana Leo that they reach out to their kumu at their sites to ask what they're doing. But ultimately, it's just using what you have. If you have a bowl and you have a couple of marbles and a Simon spoon, then you have a lesson there. And you can have your kid practice what we're calling how, or scooping. If you have a composition book and you have a yellow marker, you can write your keiki's name in the composition book, and then day in and day out they can go in and trace their name, trace certain hakalama or Hawaiian syllables. Those are all lessons, even though it might not look like one, it might not feel like one, so that the keiki are doing it without even realizing, in a sense, that they're specifically focusing on certain skills.
I think that's the best way. Is there a website that you would suggest that people go to look up what Punana Leo's had success with?
They can check out our website, www.ahapunanaleo.org, for more information and more knowledge in these areas.
All right, we certainly could use it. We thank you for sharing your knowledge with us and our Living 808 Ohana. Mahalo.
Mahalo nui.
And we've been focusing on early education with Kamehameha Schools all week long. You'll find all these stories posted on khon2.com on our Living 808 tab, and really something that you can implement at home during this time of distance learning.